Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in. This side, Rahul Magan here is the Chief Executive Officer of Treasury Consulting LLP, and today we would be covering a very fantastic video on our YouTube channel, which is Internal Financial Control 14312 Audits. As you very well understand that lot of frauds is happening across. You just name it and the companies in the frauds. And you're also aware of the fact that non-performing assets of Indian banks is much more. It is not 6.7, oh sorry, it's not 8.4 trillion, which is 8,40,000 crores. It is much more than that. And we also be aware of the fact that the Indian government recently passed an ordinance or an act which is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. But I'm seriously doubtful how much it's going to be effective because of the judgment which recently NCLT, which is the NCLT stands for National Company Law Tribunal, which they given against Mr. Mystery, that they dismisses the plea of the Mystery. This is something which we seriously need to see. In that regards, we would be covering a video. Now, section 143 and 12 stands means it is a power which is granted to the auditor, and that power means an additional certification over and above the consolidation. Consolidation means consolidation and then subsequent statutory audit. So first you need to consolidate the book, and then you need to take a separate statutory audit certification that books are in control or they are in the process. Now in this I have section 143 and 12 stands an additional certification which you supposed to be taken from the statutory auditor. And in this, they will certify that the things are in control, the process are in control, so there is no fraud which is happening in the company. I don't know how much effective 143.12 is today, because even after that, lot of frauds are coming up. We have Volkswagen, we have lot of things, and this is nothing but SOX. I'm never feeling shy that in Companies Act 2013, section 143 subsection 12 is nothing but a copy of the SOX. In fact, not SOX. I think it is not more than 50% of the SOX, because SOX stands for IT audits also. SOX is a complete enterprise risk management tool. On the other hand, this is not. So this is something a point of contention right here. But nonetheless, what we can do here. So we have created a model here. Now this model, if you go from top to bottom, but I start from bottom to top. First you have the control compliance monitoring, which talks about compliance monitoring and control monitoring in an organization. You should have a dedicated department who will take care of that. It could be SOX, it could be internal audit, it could be some other testing department, but technically speaking, in a non-American companies it is SOX, and in American company this is non-American company this is internal audit, and in American company this is SOX. In fact, some American companies we have saw it is three. One is internal audit, one is SOX, and one is COSO. Followed by you have something which is control operations. Control operations talks about the operations of the entire setup, which includes intercompany also. Example, Cognizant. Cognizant is based on transfer pricing. Actual business is getting the American entity who is transferring to Indian entities or Philippines entity. Now since they are transferring to Philippines entity, it is nothing but the entire control in entity plus intercompany. Then you have a control design which talks about risk, roles, risk, responsibilities. Here you have few fancy words in India, which is standard operating procedures, process notes, and risk control matrix. Risk control matrix is further divided into two parts. One is once you have risk control matrix which are quantified. Example, you calculate the VAR, value at risk, you calculate the CVAR. And one is which you have normal RCM, which are non-quantified. So you just mentioned it and so on and so forth. You mentioned role and responsibility. These are non-quantifiable. Then you have governance and standard. These are the policies, procedures, and the standards you are following. Example, you have a dedicated internal audit, you have SOX, you have COSO. If you have IT, then you have COBIT, and then so on and so forth. COBIT stands for Control Objectives of Information Technology. Then you finally have the ethics and the value, the ethics of the company, which I don't think the company do have. Now, right now it is very difficult to get a company who do have ethics and all. So in nutshell, you would have this bottom to top. When you have control compliance monitoring, then you have control operations, then you have control design, then you have governance and standards, then you have entity and control. Before moving further, I would like to request to everybody out here, once you make RCM, always do quantification. Quantification in the sense like VAR, which is value at risk. One is CVAR, which is cash flow value at risk. There are some people which calculate the business value at risk. So there are different multiples of value at risk. And hopefully if we get time, we will cover the variety of types of VAR in our YouTube channel also very soon. One, we have the line of defense model, which you are getting here, 143.12 line of defense model. So the first line of defense to prevent the fraud is the operational and business unit. Second line of defense is the management insurance. Third line of defense is the SOX and COSO. Fourth line of defense is external auditors. And fifth line of defense is the regulator. Even after all these line of defenses, we have huge examples. Volkswagen recently settled roughly, I think, 2.6 billion. Toyota recently brought down Toyota, calling thousands and thousands of vertical. I forget it in one name, Toshiba. Enron, not to mention, Anderson's, AirAsia facing scandal of 22 crores. Axis Bank everywhere. After demonetization, a lot of account has been opened in the Axis Bank, and it's a complete flout of the rules regulation of the banking system. JP Morgan Chase, since 2011, this bank settled spent more than $13 billion only to settle all the cases against him. You just mentioned American Bank, Citibank, AIG, Deutsche, Lehman Brothers, Toshiba recently wrote off more than more than $5 billion of goodwill in that. More than $5 billion of goodwill. And there is a news which is coming today. I'm not sure about the authenticity of the news. This news suggests that if you take 114, $1 is equals to 114 Japanese yen, then the write-off would be roughly $560 billion. But there is a 560 billion Japanese yen. But today I got a news from one of the sources, and he was telling me that the Toshiba is going to write off more than 700 billion yen pertaining in its business. It's a goodwill write-off which they are doing. Now 700 yen stands roughly $6 billion, approximately $6 billion. It means there is an additional $1 billion which is coming, and we are not taking the impact of exchange into consideration. So theoretically speaking, you have a lot of stuff. You have line of defense model, you have bottom to top approach. But practically speaking, if you go to companies, you will get to know that majority of the company do not know the meaning of VAR. Very many companies do not know how to calculate CVAR. Majority of the companies don't know the technique like earned value analysis. Like Indian IT companies Indian IT companies do not use several techniques. They are in the losses. In fact, majority of the fixed price contract of the Indian IT industry is losses because they do not know how to quantify this. Even if few companies would have RCM, these RCM are just theoretically based. Only theory, nothing else. But tactfully it should be practical. As simple as that. Once you have the VAR, you can do that. And of course, these operational models theoretically look very good. Like you have operational business unit, management insurance, SOX, external auditors, regulators. But I doubt how effective they are. As simple as that. So this is for the today's video. And you're always welcome to visit our website www.treasuryconsulting.in, and my mobile number is 9899242978, and my Skype ID is Rahul5327. You are welcome to email me at rahul.magan@treasuryconsulting.in. Before winding up this video, I would like to stress the fact that our online academy, which is TR Consulting, currently into more than 16 online courses. Tomorrow we are starting our first online course in United States of America, which covers foreign exchange and all. So we now entered the US markets as well. If you have any requirement regarding face-to-face classroom and all kind of trainings, you are most welcome. Don't forget to buy our magazine, which is the Maverick Treasurer, with an annual subscription of 900. It covers complete banking and foreign exchange. And we also would like to share that Treasury Consulting LLP is launching the first newsletter, and that newsletter is coming up I think the last week of January. Probably we are expecting it, today is 20th, then we are expecting this to be done roughly by 26th, and might be earlier than that. So this new newsletter would be covering a lot of stuff about Treasury Consulting LLP, what exactly we've done, what exactly we're doing and all. And I hope with this newsletter we would be able to cover the revised version of our presentation and our product booklet also. Due to some bandwidth issue this month we might not be able to cover the product booklet, but this month's email would surely be your so-called newsletter and corporate and our corporate presentation. If you have any questions, here you have my email ID. Thank you and have a good luck.